Hello, and thank you so much for joining this amazing show, which is called Being a Seeker. We are in year 2021. I wish you all the very best for this new year. Tonight we have a very distinguished guest. He is an electrical engineer by education, but he was so inspired and so moved by the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahans and Swami Vivekananda that he embraced the monastic life back in year 1994. Since then, he has been working relentlessly to uplift the life of underprivileged class, malnourished children and homeless children. He provides education, food and shelter to those children. He has been working significantly in the field of environment. The best example I can quote is last time when I visited his ashram. He revived a lake which was dry and barren. Viewers, welcome Swami Yogeshwaranand, a monk of Ramakrishna order. Hello, Swamiji. First of all, thank you so much for taking some time out from your busy schedule. I know that you have been too busy. You have lots of meetings and lots of work, but thank you so much. Our viewers are waiting actually. So we'll start straight from your comment. Anything that you would like to say to our viewers, and then we'll start taking some questions. I have some questions from our viewers, and then we'll take one by one. So over to you, Swamiji.
Namaste to everybody. I am very pleased that Shishirendra has arranged a meeting. I know Shishirendra since many years in Bangalore.
Start asking questions which we have from our viewers, and then at the end, you can.
Fine.
Because I have introduced about the ashram and you already. So let me start with the question, and then we will go one by one. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Okay, so I know that, I have told everyone that you have been an engineer, an electronic engineer, and then you left everything and then came to become a monk. So how was, what inspired you to leave each and every, I mean, what inspired you to leave everything behind and embrace this monkhood?
Yeah, there are many things.
As
From
if
the
you could,
childhood,
yeah, just
from the childhood, my mother used to take me to Ramakrishna Math, and many sadhus used to visit our house, and my mother used to organize satsangs. So we have been in touch with sadhus from the childhood, and after coming in contact with Ramakrishna Ashram, Basavangudi, this hunger has increased, and we started going to Sunday classes for youth, where our revered Swami Purushottam used to take. After attending classes for a long time and after reading Swami Vivekananda's life and teachings, of course, Sri Ramakrishna and Goli Mother has really inspired me to become a monk and dedicate my life to in search of truth and service to humanity.
wow, such an inspiring story. But tell me one thing, Swamiji, since you have seen your previous, I mean, you have been living a life of an engineer or people, normal person like who goes to office day to day and who goes to school and college and have been into all worldly life, all worldly things. So when you become a monk, what do you think you have achieved which others have not? There is something which you must have achieved and others have not. That is why you have taken this leap and you become a monk. Do you think, I mean, what is your idea on this?
Yeah, it's a good question because everybody has this question: why should we become monks?
Yeah,
We can do spiritual practice, being a householder, and at home also we can practice the spiritual discipline and realize the self. Yeah, these questions comes to everybody. Yeah, one who is prepared mentally can always renounce, not others. See, preparation for the higher life is very much required. When you cannot relish the ordinary food, you will go for five-star hotel. In the same way, when you cannot enjoy this worldly life, or the soul always seeks the higher joy, the eternal joy, the absolute bliss. So that you cannot get in this world. It is a temporary joy, the sensual pleasures, for example, as we all know, it cannot give the eternal bliss or peace. So spiritual path alone can fetch you this.
great. You are absolutely right, and that is why lots of people read scriptures and teachings, and they listen to great sages, but they are not moved. Only a handful of them uh, get inspired by these teachings. So rightly said, absolutely right. I think what is, and then um, also you have been working with the people since last 25 years now, and you must have come
Yeah,
across thousands of people who
yeah,
are
yeah.
suffering who are suffering from one way or the other. There may be thousands of reasons of their suffering. So why do you think there are some people who suffer and then there are some people who don't suffer, who live a good life? Do you think that they are also on the path of suffering? What is your take on this?
Suffering in what sense? You mean the diseases or the mental worries?
Yeah, there can be thousands of reasons of suffering, maybe some emotional suffering. There are some people who have some diseases. Then there are people who are less fortunate and they don't earn too much, uh, earn, earn the money so that they can take care of their family. So suffering can be of any nature.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, it is not suffering or enjoyment. It is not actually in the external world. It is our mental state.
Okay.
A poor man can be a contented man. A rich man may be a man of distress, or he may be in miseries. See, it is the attitude towards the life. He can be happy with whatever he has and whatever he earns out of righteous path. So in Sri Shankaracharya, in his Bhajagovindam, he says, Muda jahihi dhanagama trishna, kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishna, yallabase nija, karmopaktam, vittam tena vinodaya chittam. See, there is no end for this thirst for money or power or these pleasures. You have to put a full stop for it. There is no end for it.
Yes.
How much ever you may eat, how much ever you may possess, it will not give you eternal happiness. You will understand it by, if you go back to Puranas, there was a great king named Yayati in Chandravamsha. So he asked his son for the youth to enjoy the sensual pleasures for some more time. So his last son gave it. So he enjoyed for some more years, decades, and then he understood that there is no end for it. By leaving alone, you can attain that eternal bliss. So there is a beautiful saying in Upanishad, na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyage naike amrutatva manushaho. By sacrifice alone, by living alone, you can get the highest. You can attain the highest.
Wow, wow. This is amazing. So basically what you are saying is the suffering is not the outside world. Suffering is inside, I mean, within us. It's not.
Yeah, you see, basically it is all our own doing. See, nobody is responsible is for our suffering. See, God has given everything, all opportunities. See, people go to college, but many people get rank, and most of them will not score good marks or doesn't study well. And if we are not serious about our pursuits, success is not sure. So, very important is we have all power within. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve in this life. For example, see Abdul Kalam. He was born in a small village and nobody was educated in their house. But how he became a missile scientist and the president of India. So it is all, so how we take life, we have to struggle. We have a great desire to become great. These things will motivate us and make us achieve things.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I understand.
Suffering is only a temporary thing.
Yes, yes, I understand that. And on that note, when you said suffering is the temporary thing, a person should strive for his growth.
Yeah, see, if he is hungry, he needs food. If he can work as a laborer and earn the bread. If he is intelligent, he can do some office work and earn bread. If he simply sits and mourns that I don't have food, who will give?
Right. So
even the animals, in the animal kingdom, you see how for the food, how much they travel, how much they do all sorts of things just to appease the appetite.
Correct.
So in the same way, human beings not only can be satisfied just by eating, they have plenty of desires. So it is the individual to try for the attainments. He should first have desire, and then he should develop a desire and then work for the attainment. That
Got
is
it.
the only way.
Yeah, I think that's a great formula for being a successful. But again,
Yeah,
the question arises, we all don't know actually when to, we all don't know if we are growing or not. Of course, like we are living in this worldly life, and we have we have the we
battery.
are so entangled with the day-to-day life. We have lots of problems, so we don't know that we are
Bigger.
growing or not growing. And in that quest we have been doing lots of silly things. So how to understand and how to know that we are growing?
See, growing in human beings, as you know, physical growth is not the growth. So it is the mental evolution rather than telling growth, it is the expansion, the evolution from lower thinking to the higher thinking. The consciousness should expand. So
Yes.
it is always, it's a very clear indication that whenever we are at peace and contented and feel doing things with joy, it is a sign of growth. When we are happy with whatever we are doing and whatever we achieve, and we will seek for the higher joy. See, joy is not somewhere else. It is always, it is our intrinsic nature.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. For
That's
example, Kabira was manufacturing the cloths.
right.
So he never left it, but he was very, very happy with whatever he was doing. At the same time, mentally, how we take things is very important. Our
That's right. Mentally, if we are growing, we are at peace, and we
with
are.
what sort of things he is living. So the attitude towards our life is very important. Unless we attain the eternal bliss or eternal peace, this dissatisfaction continues.
Okay.
Shariram surupam tatha vakalatram yashascharu chitram dhanam meru tulyam gurorangri padme manaschenna lagnam tatah kim. What next? What next? That is the big question for human beings.
Yeah.
He may
Again.
be very beautiful, young, very well educated, with all sorts of comforts, but still he is not happy.
Yeah.
Why?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So
So
this is the
again,
thing.
you
So
quoted a
unless,
beautiful verse from Shankaracharya, Tatakim, Tatakim.
yeah.
Of course, the question is all, the all question is hidden inside us. So,
Yeah.
of course, and we all go through some bad patches in our lives. Like maybe, maybe some relationship is is not working out. The job is not working out. Health is not working out. So we all go through some bad patches in life. So
Yeah.
what is the best way to tackle the obstacles in life and come over it? What do you think? How to come over these obstacles in life? Because each one of us can relate ourselves to this kind of problems. So because I mean, so what is the best way to tackle these problems?
But you see, problems are many. But if we look at the problems, we can never find the solution. We should always go for the solutions.
Okay,
Solution
that's interesting.
less problem does not exist. Any problem without solution doesn't exist. So it we must use our discrimination to overcome the problems. Many times it is, see now because of this corona pandemic, the whole world is suffering, especially the lower class, the lower middle class people, the
Hmm.
labor class, they are suffering really. The middle class people, at least somehow they have some bank balance, so at least they can fill their bellies and lead a peaceful life because they have saved money. Whereas
That's
the
right.
daily laborers and others, how much they are suffering, but still how they are managing. Somehow the government is supplying the basic needs like rice and other things.
Yeah, yeah.
These
Agree with you.
problems are eternal. Sometimes it is less, sometimes it is more, but uh, we can always overcome the problems. Many of our engineers, many of our MNC employees have lost job. It's a big headache for them because they have to
Correct.
manage the show. I understand, but see, if they led a lavish life without proper planning in life, they have to suffer a lot. If they
I
have
know.
planned properly, see, we should be prepared for the life, the worst in the life. So we can always, these are things yeah, our ancestors have taught us. See how they never go for the credit. They always were contented with whatever they have.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
now the consumerism has made human beings so greedy that whatever he sees, he wants to possess it. So
yeah,
these
yeah.
things have made the educated more miserable. Whereas the uneducated now also they can overcome the problems because their mind is not very complex.
Correct.
More the education, more the complexity.
Yeah.
So our education system has not taught us to overcome our own problems. We can overcome all the physical problems in the material world, but the
Yeah.
mental problems, because as we can see in our Vedic times, Shankaracharya has beautifully said, Dvividohi Vedokto Dharmaha
Mhm.
Pravrutti Lakshano Nivrutti Lakshanascha Jagataha Sthiti Karanam Praninam Sakshat Abhyudaya Nishreyasa Hetuhu. We are focusing only on one thing, that is Abhyudaya, always pravrutti. There is
Yeah.
no nivrutti. See,
Correct.
both are required to have a good balance. That is externally intense action and internally a contemplative life. If you
Wow.
if you don't take these two things together, we suffer.
Wow. This
If we
is
can lead a life of balance with these two things, inner contemplative life and the external intensive action, always we will have both Abhyudaya and Nishreyasa. The internal
this
freedom
is
also we will attain. At the same time, externally we will be very comfortable.
right now I am feeling kind of your words are too enlightening. It's a I can relate myself with what you said right just now. So
Ha.
of course inner peace is much important. And but then Swamiji, tell me one thing, as we don't know, like how much to. So we all want to accumulate lots of money, lots of abundance, lots of things we want to accumulate. There is no limit of this accumulation. If
Ha.
we like something, we want to have it more and more. If we want to travel, if we like to travel, we want to go many places. If we want to eat, I mean, if we are like foodie, if we like different kinds of food, we want to try all different sorts of food. So there is no limit of this expansion. This is another reason for suffering, or this is okay. This is what human being is.
Yeah. That is the thing going on in the whole world,
Yes.
because the basic problem is everybody is thinking that the joy is in the object. It is not in the object, it is subjective. It is
Mm.
not outside us, it is not in the object that we are seeking the eternal joy. That is why we are simply going behind the things which is attracting us. But if you stop for a while and think, where is joy? It is not in the thing. It is in your own consciousness. It is in your acceptance. It is our mental state. So, unless we go little inside and see the things properly, it will simply drag us. See, the journey of senses is always external. It cannot see inside. That is why when we meditate, we close all the senses and only the mind is introverted. That is turned inside. So there is no end for these things, because if you have a Benz car, you will go for BMW. If you have a BMW, you will go for the better car. But a car, why you purchase car? See, it is only for our convenience. A convenient car is enough. We must go for the better joy. Always, the material joy is very limited. Yeah,
that's right. And so now a couple of questions.
It is not that we should not enjoy the worldly things. Yes, but we should always have discrimination and try to go for the better joy. We should not stagnate at one level.
Right. That's perfectly eye opener. And I have a couple of questions which is beyond this world. So some questions people have asked about heaven. So how to go to heaven? And I know we can't get a boarding pass unless we die, but after death, how to ensure that we will go to heaven?
Yeah, that is our ancient belief that to enjoy the sensual pleasure continuously, we have created the heaven.
Okay.
Here we have limitation. See how much you can eat. If you eat more, there will be indigestion.
Yeah.
If you sleep more, there will be dullness. You cannot indulge in any sensual pleasures in this world. That is why everybody, one who wants to enjoy the sensual pleasures continuously without getting harmed, getting affected physically and mentally, they opted for this heaven.
So
in our Puranas, we come across many yagnas which make us enter into the heaven.
Okay.
So through the karma kanda, so certain yagnas, one can attain heaven.
Nice.
It is possible.
So what you are saying is there is a physical place which is called heaven, right? It's not.
Yes, there are many lokas.
Many lokas, and there are methods through which we can attain those lokas.
Yes.
Great.
At the same time, there is hell also.
Okay.
We can we can take passport and tickets to any place according to our temperaments. Nobody wants to go to hell, but everybody wants heaven. But nobody wants to lead a righteous and moral life, a ethical life. See, the moral and ethical life is very important for one who wants to enjoy heaven.
Wow.
If they are moral and ethical, they will be in heaven at this world only. They need not go to heaven, because when mind is at peace, see, in deep sleep we enjoy so much. In the waking state and the dream states, many a times we are at joy, and sometimes we are in miseries also. But in deep sleep, see how happy we are.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Without anything,
Absolutely painless, absolutely emotionless. and that is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best thing to come
We
over
only
it.
exist.
Agani.
We only exist, but no identity
That's right.
with the body or anything. We only exist, and again we will come back to the waking state.
Yes.
Then this identity will come back.
Mhm. Okay.
So one who wants to book, they can perform yagnas.
Sure, sure. That was really a wonderful, Swamiji. Uh, your words are magical and very insightful. Thank you so much for taking some time. Thank you.